Hello there, welcome back to the new lecture. So in this lecture we have to discuss about kitchen ventilation system part 3. So after the end of this lecture you would be able to understand about the duct design consideration in kitchen ventilation system. After that I will show you the calculation for kitchen ventilation as per SMACNA method. So let's start. Duct design consideration. So in that, first point is the duct velocity is recommended as 1500 to 2500 fpm. Okay, so as per NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, how much velocity we have to maintain during the duct sizing? When you are doing the duct size na, on that time for velocity we have to take 1500 to 2500. So recommended is 1800 fpm. Take as a 1800 fpm and design the duct. So the recommended velocity for duct design is 1800 fpm as per NFPA. Okay, and duct to be terminated 40-inch above the roof. Why? You can terminate directly also. So why we have to first we have to go 40-inch, then we have to above the roof, then we have to terminate the duct. What is the reason? In above the roof we have some other services also, like electrical tray, electrical cable, everything is there. Okay, if suppose you are using HVAC services, so for fan is also there. Okay, exhaust fan when we are doing the ventilation, so sometimes we have to install the fan above the roof only. Okay, exhaust fan, and for fresh air fan also we are using fan. So there are many services. So that is why what happen if you do not go above the roof 14-inch, so on that time directly you will terminate the duct. So what happen? So there are many, you have to face many problem. Okay, so that is why first during when you terminate the duct, now first we have to go 40-inch above the roof, then you have to terminate the duct. And in next point it is written clean out to be provided at the base of riser and every 20 feet. And duct sheet metal gauge, that what gauge of sheet you have to use. So generally 16 gauge galvanized steel, and we have a 18 gauge 304 stainless steel. Okay, and hood construction, for hood we are using 18 gauge sheet. Okay, minimum 18 gauge sheet we are using. Black steel duct is used for all kitchen ducts or hood. So generally what type of sheet we are using? Black steel duct. Okay, and it is written here the difference between thickness and gauge is what? Thickness is always inversely proportional to gauge. It means what? Gauge is what here? Thickness of sheet. Okay, if suppose I told you that I have a 220 mm thick sheet, and one sheet I have a 22 mm thick. So whose gauge is more, 20 mm thick sheet or 22 mm thick sheet? So simple, 20 mm thick sheet gauge is more, because gauge is inversely proportional to thickness. Okay, now see the kitchen ventilation system design, how we can design the kitchen ventilation system. In that I have already discussed about that we have a two method. So first of all we see how to design the kitchen ventilation system by using method first. So in that, suppose if you know the dimension and if you know the size of your stove length is suppose small l, and stove width is given, take as a let's say small w, and stove height is small h. So how you can find out the hood size? So for that we have a formula. To find out the hood length, capital L, we have a formula. Capital L is equal to small l plus 0.8 small h. Small l is what here? Stove length, and small h is stove height. Okay, so that is why I have told you that if you know the dimension of stove, So you will easily get the hood length, and you can find out the hood width also. See, to find out the hood width, we have a formula: capital W is equal to small w plus 0.8 into h. Same here, small w is what? Stove width, and small h is stove height. Okay, so in this way we have to find out we have to do the hood size. After that, to calculate the exhaust air CFM, so we have a formula, but based on your cooking, which type of cooking is. Suppose if there is a light cooking, so for light cooking, to calculate the exhaust air CFM, we have a formula: 100 into P. P is what here? P is perimeter in feet. Okay, and for medium cooking, formula is what? To find out the exhaust air CFM, 150 into P. And for heavy cooking, exhaust air CFM is equal to 200 into P. It means based on your cooking, you will get the exhaust air CFM. Now P is what here? Perimeter of hood in feet. Okay, remember this point. Now if you are using wall mounted type of hood, so how you can calculate the perimeter of hood? Simple, P is equal to length of that hood plus 2 into width of hood. Okay, and if it is a island type of hood, so perimeter formula is 2L plus 2W. Now take one question on it: kitchen ventilation system. So in that question is written, if stove dimension is 750 into 450 into 800 mm, find the following. We have to find out the exhaust hood size, length and width of that size of that hood, and after that we have to find out the exhaust air CFM, then exhaust air duct size, then we have to find out the fresh air CFM and fresh air duct size. So stove dimension is given in question. Length of stove is 750, width of stove is 450 mm, and height of that stove is 800 mm. For we have to design this thing for wall mounted canopy type of hood and for medium cooking. Now it is telling solve this question by method first and method second. Okay, so all these two method I have already explained you. So see how to do the calculation. So first of all, what is given in question? So here I am using first method first. Okay, how to calculate the hood size and exhaust flow rate, fresh air flow rate, and how to do the duct size. All that we have to see by using method first. So what is given? So in question, length of stove is given 750 mm. When you convert this mm into meter, so it will be 0.75 meter. Okay, and width of stove is 450 mm, means 0.45 meter, and height of stove is given 0.8 meter. So if you know the size of this stove, so we can easily calculate the hood length and hood width. What is the formula to find out the hood length? So first of all we have to calculate the hood size. So in that, to find out the hood length, we have a formula: capital L is equal to small l plus 0.8 h. Small l is what? Stove length, and small h is stove height. So we have to put that value here: 0.7 plus 0.8 into 0.8. So finally you will get the values 1.39 meter. Now convert this meter in feet. So we know that in 1 meter how much feet? 3.28 feet. So multiply by this factor, you will get 4.55 feet. Okay, so this is our length of hood. Now to find out the hood width, we have a formula: capital W is equal to small w plus 0.8 into h. Small w is width of stove and small h is height of stove. You have to put all this value. So finally we will get how much hood width? 3.57 feet. Okay, so in this way we have to do the hood size. Now second thing, we have to find out the exhaust air CFM, that how much amount of air we have to exhaust from the kitchen space. So I have already discussed you that based on that cooking type, which type of cooking is, and based on that cooking type you will get the exhaust air CFM. Okay, so we have a formula for light cooking. What is formula? Exhaust air CFM is equal to 150 into P parameter, 100 into P. Okay, and to find out the for medium cooking, for exhaust air CFM is equal to 150 into P. P is parameter in feet, and for heavy cooking, formula is exhaust air CFM is equal to 200 into P. Now in question, what in our question, what type of cooking is? So for medium cooking. Okay, so for medium cooking, what is the formula to calculate the exhaust air CFM? So formula is exhaust air CFM is equal to 150 into P. P is perimeter of hood in feet. Okay, so here first of all we have to find out the perimeter of hood. So how to calculate? If you know the length and width of hood, so easily you can calculate the perimeter. So what is the formula? L plus 2W. Okay, because it is a wall mounted canopy type of hood na? So for that, perimeter is capital L plus 2W. Put all this value. Finally we get the perimeter in feet, 11.69 feet. So that value you have to enter here. 150 into 11.69, how much value we get? 1754 CFM. It means that much amount of air we have to exhaust from the kitchen space. Now next we have to find out the exhaust air duct size. So for exhaust air duct size, we need exhaust air flow rate, and we have already calculated the exhaust air flow rate. How much? 1754 CFM. Okay, so to find out the duct size manually, we have a formula. Q is equal to AV. Q is what here? Flow rate, exhaust flow rate. A is area, and V velocity. So if you remember, I have already discussed about that. What velocity, recommended velocity we have to take for duct sizing in kitchen ventilation system? 1800 fpm. Okay, remember this point. Now see, here we have to calculate the duct size. So area is equal to Q upon V. Area we have calculated 1754 divided by 1800. Okay, so we get 0.97 square feet. Now suppose for rectangular duct, suppose if you want to install the rectangular duct, so what we have to do? See, here I have drawn the rectangular duct. This is the length of that duct. Here when you look from front view, so it's this is our width of that duct, height of this duct is given. Okay, so now tell me, area we have calculated how much? 0.97 square feet. Now what is the area of rectangle? Width into height. Okay, simply you have to write down here, width into height is equal to 0.97 square feet. Now here what we have to do? We have to follow this ratio, aspect ratio. Okay, means here we have to assume the height of the duct, because we don't know na height here. It's based on your site requirement that what space is given for height. So based on that height we design the duct, but here we don't know the height na? So here you have to assume the height. Okay, and that much of height you have to assume that when you calculate the ratio na, about width and height, so that ratio will be greater or equal to 1 or less and equal to 4. So we have to satisfy this ratio, okay, as per SMACNA, but this ratio is only for rectangular duct. So here I am assuming, let's say h is equal to 0.5 feet. Okay, so this value, this height value you have to put in this equation. Okay, so when you put this value in equation, you will get the width of duct 1.94 feet. Now convert this feet into mm. So how to convert? We know the conversion factor formula, that 1 feet is equal to how many mm? 304.8 mm. So we get the width in mm how much? 600 mm. Now height how much? 150 mm. So when you do the when you find out the ratio width upon height, so you get the value around how much? 4 na? So it's okay, your duct size is correct, because if you do the if you calculate the ratio na, width divided by height, so your value is coming between 1 to 4. If it is less than 4 or is equal to 4, so it is correct. Okay, so here when you divide, so our value is coming 4, it means duct size is correct. If it is more than 1, suppose if you divide both of them and your value, you get value around 4 point something, so it means your duct size is not correct. Okay, so you have to satisfy this equation. Always remember, we have to satisfy this ratio, aspect ratio. So here the width of duct is 600 mm and height 150 mm. Okay, in this way we have to do the calculation. So exhaust at duct size, how much we have calculated? 600 mm into 150 mm. Now see, suppose I want to install the for square duct. Suppose if you want to install round duct. Okay, so for round duct we need here diameter of that duct. Okay, capital D. So how to find out the diameter? We have already calculated the area. How much? 0.97 square feet. Okay, now tell me what is the area of circle? Pi by 4 d square. Okay, so here we have to find out the diameter, so you have to just cross multiply. So finally you will get the diameter 1.11 feet. Now convert the feet into mm, so we get the value 350 mm. Okay, so in this way we have to calculate the size of round duct. Now suppose if you want to install the square duct, so for square duct we know that all sides of square duct of a square is same. So here I am assuming small a side of this duct is small a. So we know that for square all sides are equal. So area we have calculated how much? 0.97 square feet. Now tell me what is the area of square? A square. Okay, so finally you will get the small a value 300 mm. Okay, now the exhaust at duct size for a square duct is how much? 300 mm into 300 mm. Okay, in this way we have to find out the duct size. Now the next one, what we have to find out? Fresh air CFM. So how we will get the fresh air CFM? So I have already told you, to find out the fresh air, 80% of exhaust at CFM is our fresh air. So exhaust at CFM we have calculated 1754. So 80% of that how much? 1403.2 CFM. It means that much amount of air we have to supply into the kitchen area. Okay, now if you want to do the duct size for fresh air, so same way here we have to use the same formula, continuity equation. Q is equal to AV. Velocity how much we have to maintain? Same, I have told you 1800. Recommended velocity is 1800 fpm. Okay, and Q value we have already calculated 1403.2 divided by 1800. So finally we get the area 0.78 square feet. Okay, once you get the area, so based on which type of duct you want to install, suppose I want to install the square duct. So for square duct, how to do the size? Area we have calculated 0.78 square feet. So we know that area of rectangle is what? Width into height. So finally here what we have to do? We have to satisfy this ratio, aspect ratio. Okay, so here we have to assume the height. Suppose let's say I have taken height 0.5 feet. So for 0.5 feet, when you put this value in that equation, so you will get the width 1.56. So finally we get the width of duct 500 mm and height of duct 150 mm. Now see here you have to calculate the ratio width divided by height. So finally when you divide, now you will get how much? 3 point something. It means our ratio is coming less than 4. Okay, so it means condition is satisfied and our size is correct. Okay, so fresh air duct size how much we got? 500 mm into 150 mm. So finally the next is what? For round duct, suppose you have you want to install the round duct. So here for round duct we have to calculate the diameter. Same way area we have calculated for fresh air duct, sorry, how much? 0.78 square feet, and area of circle pi by 4 d square. So finally you will get the diameter 300 mm. Okay, And for square duct we know that all sides are equal. Okay, you can see in this image, this is the length and here side of square duct is small a. So area 0.78 square feet, area of a square is what? Small a square. So finally you will calculate the small a value 250 mm. Okay, so this is all about kitchen ventilation system part 3. Now the next part will upload soon. So if this video is important for you, so please do not forget to like, subscribe and share my video to your friends. Hope all of you enjoy this session. See you in next one.